Does anyone else make really bad, rash decisions? Because that seems like all I do nowadays is I see something and I'm like, yeah, I can fix that. And it's not how it goes at all. With that being said, this is my new project. This is a 2019 VXC Wave Runner. I bought this thing on Facebook Marketplace for $2,500, and I think I overpaid by about $2,500 because this thing, there's a lot of very weird things going on about it. And we're gonna go over that right now on everything I've seen so far that is pretty weird, scary, and confusing. Like I said, there's a lot of weird things about this. First obvious thing is this was a rental jet ski. Now, rental jet skis are used and abused very badly. This is my first time ever buying one, and I'll just go out and say, don't buy one. It's not. They don't take care of them. They use them for about a year and beat them up, and then they sell them for pretty much scrap. They get all their money out in rentals. So that is the first red flag of this thing. Plenty more to go. Now with rental jet skis, they are beaten up pretty bad. This is actually on the better side of what I've seen. Only these surface level scratches and nicks that are covered up by tape. Now, I just recently saw this today. I've had this thing for about a month and a half, waiting to put a video out on it. And I saw this today when I was looking it over one more time to refresh my memory. And there's a big fiberglass replacement piece underneath the front end of this that I did not see beforehand. So hopefully that doesn't leak water. It doesn't look too bad. They did a halfway decent job, which is better than a lot of other ones, I can say. We'll look into that a little bit more. Let's try to get this thing running first, because it doesn't run. That leads me to the next point. This thing does not run. This is very mystery, damaged. Don't know why it doesn't run, but I can tell you probably why. Looking on the inside, it is missing a lot more pieces, which no shocker there, because it is missing a lot of stuff. One of the more concerning things are it's missing the drive shaft. I don't know why that would be missing. It's missing the part where it connects from the jet pump to the motor itself. It's missing that whole assembly. It's missing that. It's missing the airbox cover along with filter and all that kind of stuff. It's missing some bolts up here that hold on the ignition coils. That's not even the most concerning part. The most concerning part is missing some of the engine mount bolts. So missing a couple of those, and the other ones are very loose. I did not know that when I looked at this thing. I didn't look at it very long. I kind of just bought it on a whim. So that is the most concerning part. I think this motor has been taken out. I don't know why else they would be missing a lot of these pieces. Hopefully this motor is still good, but it's not looking too great if it's missing motor mount bolts and all that other stuff. And it is missing fuses. It's missing a couple fuses in a relay. The one fuse that's missing is the big one that I'm guessing powers the whole thing, because this thing does not power on. Even if it did power on, you couldn't be able to start it because this whole thing is taken out and it's missing something in there that seems important. So it won't even turn on at all. But the good news is I think the battery is pretty new. So we hopefully can just charge that up and save a little bit of money on a battery. Now that is pretty much the surface level what I knew going into this. Today I saw one other thing that's missing that I did not know was missing. I looked into the jet pump and it is missing the impeller and like a bunch of other stuff. It looks like it's missing a lot of stuff in there. I don't know why. This thing is only 3 or 4 years old, so I'm leaning more towards this was like a parts jet ski and they just took all the good thing off of this and threw all the bad stuff back in it. Because along with that, it's also missing the steering cable, which I don't know why that's missing in the 3-year-old thing. Like, I don't see that locking up. A lot of weird things with this thing. Yeah. I don't have much hope for this, but I do have a little hope that I can get it running at least. If the motor's okay, I think I can get this thing running for a decent price. I've already bought a lot of the things. I bought the fuses and stuff to see if this thing will power on, see if we can find out how many hours are on it, and see if it's even worth putting money into it. I'm already $2,500 into it, way more than I want to be. Now that we've talked all about this, my optimism is very much going down. I don't know why I bought this thing. Hopefully this will be a lesson to you guys to look over newer jet skis a little bit better before you buy them. But we're gonna go over it together now. I'm gonna put it in the garage. I have this little jet ski stand I built for a previous jet ski. Throw it in there and hopefully start piecing up some of the pieces I bought for it. I bought a lot of pieces for this thing, a lot of the fuses and other little bits of things like the electrical starter stuff. I bought all that. So we're gonna piece all that on and see if we can even get it to turn on, maybe turn over a little bit. We'll mess around with it, see if we can dig in and find more stuff to look into this. Yeah, this is exciting, guys. Another piece of junk. We'll see what it looks like now, and hopefully it runs and works by the end of this series. Okay. Wish me luck.
Oh, what was that? I just heard like a zap. That can't be good.
Also, this is not powering on either. Well then. All right, we got this thing in here. I have this little winch mounted up in front of my garage that helps me pull things that don't run into the garage. Helps a little bit, and also works for jet skis, I guess. We took the battery out, charged the battery. I'm pretty sure that thing is fully charged. And then we took the fuse panel out, looked to see what was missing. It was just a 50 amp and the relay, which I already ordered. I already saw that was missing. That looked to be the only thing that was missing from there. Everything else looked okay. A little bit of corrosion around the screws, but this thing was in salt water, so it's to be expected. Also replaced this ignition switch. That was all pretty easy, runs straight through and unhooks down here. Then we tried to crank it or to see if it powers on. Put the kill switch in, press the start button, nothing. No dash lights, dash isn't coming on at all. I don't know how it comes on because it's only a start button. There's not like a power button. So I'm still learning about these. I don't know much about these newer models. So no power, press it again, and there's like a weird electric clicking. It doesn't sound like a good clicking. It sounds like a fuse blowing. That's what it really sounds like. I checked the fuses. They looked fine. So I'm not really sure what's clicking down there, but whatever it is, I don't think it's supposed to be doing that. I hope this thing's not locked up. I don't think it would be, but I haven't really checked. I think I can spin the motor right here, so I'm gonna try to do that. And also start looking at all this electrical right up here. Maybe there's something unplugged, maybe there's like a ground loose, something. So not positive what the next move is, but we're gonna look at the wiring and see if the motor spins. I think that's the next logical step. So we're gonna do that. That was a little bit more promising. Well, to point out the obvious, there's a big hole in the block. I can't say I'm surprised just because of all the red flags going on here, but I was really hopeful that there wouldn't be. Going back a little bit, because I want to talk about what my thought process was, the motor is unlocked. It's a little tight, but it's been sitting for a while, so it still spins at least. Look at the wiring. The wiring looked okay. There wasn't any like major corrosion or anything anywhere. So then it got me thinking that night that maybe it's the starter solenoid, because that seems to go out in some of these, and I looked it up, and that seems like a common problem with this model. So I ordered one, I put it in when it came in, and it was making better noise. The noises it was making was louder, more consistent at least. So then I got to thinking maybe it's the starter, because that could be a thing. So that got me fiddling around trying to find the starter. I found it, but then I also found a big hole in the block. So it doesn't really matter if it's a starter at this point. Now y'all may be thinking that kind of an idiot for not checking in the first place, but I checked the oil and it has oil in it, and I could just imagine if it has a hole in the block that it'll be locked up. I never really dealt with this before, so it's all very new to me. But you know, I feel like the oil will be everywhere in here, and it's not really, it's pretty clean in here, so I didn't really expect it. So what's the plan from here? I don't know. I looked up on eBay. A new motor is around $4,000, and that'll put this whole thing in at $6,500. That is if that's all it needs, but I also know it needs a jet pump, and that's like another $400. And that's if that's all it needs, if no other surprises, which the way this is going, there's gonna be more surprises, and that means more money. I looked up how much they're going for on Marketplace, and like a good condition one with low hours is going for like 9 or 10,000, and I just know this isn't gonna get anywhere near that. Even if I rebuild the whole thing, it's not gonna get anywhere near that. I'm trying to find the best route to go here. I don't know if I need to take the loss and sell it for maybe $1,200, because that's how much a body goes for, or just wait around, see if I can find one that's wrecked and the motor runs, and then I can swap everything over. I think this probably makes the most sense, because then I could take all the other parts off of that, like the jet pump, and save a little bit more money that way. Let me know what you guys think is the best outcome. As for this, I'm guessing the whole story is they took all the parts they needed out of this thing. So the good motor, the jet pump stuff, all that, steering, all this other random stuff that's missing, they took it out, put it in a good jet ski, and then took all the junk and threw it back in here and sold it. And then that's how I ended up with it. How I ended up with a piece of junk. So hopefully this teaches you guys a lesson. It definitely taught me a lesson. I'm going to stay away from these from now on. Little bit. If I do buy one, I'm going to look into it a little bit more. Buy one that at least runs, and like maybe body work is more my style. Save a little bit more money that way, maybe. I also want to hear your guys' ideas and theories on what happened with this thing. At least it's a good story. I think this made a good video. It's kind of fun figuring out what's wrong. It was pretty obvious in the long run once I looked around for the starter. Could have saved a little bit of time and money if we just saw that. But this is how we learn. We make mistakes. Just like to make cheaper mistakes more often. All right, I have an Instagram. You guys can check me out there. Link right here, Ultimate Rebuilds. Also have a TikTok. I post a little bit of behind the scenes stuff there, videos that you may not have seen on YouTube. Check that out. Follow me so I can afford to buy a new motor for this if you want to. All right, I will catch you guys on a new video. I have other projects to work on. I've bought plenty of other stuff to work on in the meantime. So this will be on the back burner until we figure out a game plan. Let's work on the other things I have. See you guys in a new video.